Week 23 of the 2023-24 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. This is Run It Back, NBA Week in Review. I'm Jose Salviati, editor at thePeachBasket.net, and this is the show where we recap the week that was in the NBA and then highlight the marquee matchup for the week to come. We'll start like we always do with the only objective NBA power rankings anywhere. You can read more about why we call them objective and how we get to these rankings and see the entire list at thePeachBasket.net. Let's take a look at the top 10 after week number 23. Now, at this point of the season, you expect the best teams to kind of bubble up to the top 10, and that's what we're seeing. These are the best teams in the NBA as we prepare for the playoffs. Dropping a spot to number 10 after a 2-2 week are the Cleveland Cavaliers. The New York Knicks had a good 2-1 week, but they dropped 2 spots to number 9. Milwaukee is holding firm at the number 8 spot after a 2-2 week. Now, the Dallas Mavericks are a team that's just peaking at the right time. They were 3-0 in week number 23, and they jumped all the way from out of the top 10 last week to number 7 in week number 23. New Orleans was 2-2 in week 23 and hold down the number 6 spot. The Los Angeles Clippers matched the Pelicans at 2-2 and continue to hold on to the number 5 spot. The Denver Nuggets, the defending champions, were an unimpressive 1-2 week in week number 23, and that cost them. They dropped 2 spots to number 4. The Oklahoma City Thunder were 2-2 and continue to hold on to the number 3 spot. The Minnesota Timberwolves, there was a lot of kind of doom and gloom after Cat went down, but man, the Wolves have responded. They were a perfect, impressive, undefeated 3-0 in week 23, and that was enough to move them up 2 spots to the number 2 position. The number 1 team, despite having an unimpressive 1-2 week, which in fact was their first losing week in the NBA season, are the Boston Celtics. I don't think there's anything to worry about in Boston. That's the objective top 10 list for week number 23. If you want to see where all 30 teams land this week, please visit thePeachBasket.net. Now let's shift our focus to the players. These are the best to do it by average in week number 23 of the 2023-24 NBA season. The best by average in shooting, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, points, and overall game score. The top scorer by average in week 23 exploded for 61 games and a loss, unfortunately, for them. Jalen Brunson, he averaged 38.3 over his 3 games played to lead the association in week 23. Brunson's teammate, Dante DiVincenzo, was the top sniper in the entire NBA for week 23. He averaged 7.3 3-point field goals made over his 3 games played. Brunson was the best shooter, making an average of 15.3 field goals over his 3 games played. The top rebounder overall was Anthony Davis. He averaged 18 boards over his 3 games played. Amen Thompson was the top dog in terms of offensive rebounders. He averaged 6.7 over his 3 games played. AD is back as the best defensive rebounder. He averaged 13.3 defensive boards. The top facilitators in the NBA averaged 10.3 assists. They are Luka Doncic and DeJounte Murray. I should call out that DeJounte Murray averaged those 10.3 assists over 4 games played, while Luka averaged them over 3. But they were still the top in average for assists last week. Kristaps Porzingis was the top rim protector. He blocked 3.3 shots on average over his 3 games played for the Boston Celtics. Fred VanVleet was the top thief in the NBA in week number 23. He averaged 3 steals over his 3 games played for the charging Houston Rockets. The top game scorer in week 23 belonged to Milwaukee Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had an impressive game score of 30.3. Looking ahead to week number 24, the top game in the association might very well be in Boston. On Wednesday, April 4th, the number 1 East leading Boston Celtics take on the number 2, as of right now. There's been a lot of movement in the West, but right now the Oklahoma City Thunder are number 2 in the West. That should be a good game. It's going to be touted as a potential finals preview, and hopefully we get a playoff atmosphere in Boston and a good game. We may host a watch party watching and commenting on that game. Add us on X at thePeachBasket_ to learn more. That's it. Week number 23 of the 2023-24 NBA season is over. It's in the books. Join us next week after week number 24 when we once again run it back.